I just had a fabulous listener email me, and she said, Sarah, does Nutrafol work for men too? You better believe it. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement for men and women, with over 1 million people seeing thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding. Hello, me included. Nutrafol changed my life post-baby and postpartum hair. Amazing. Also, a lot of women going through menopause say that Nutrafol works for them as well. And like I mentioned, it works for the fellas. Take the first step right now to visibly thicker, healthier hair for a limited time. Nutrafol is offering my TSFS listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and you enter the promo code TSFS. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and hair care stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code TSFS. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code TSFS. Woohoo! Every day I am getting one step closer to having another healthy baby, and Caraway Home is helping me do that. Their ceramic, naturally slick surface cookware allows you to cook with minimal butter. They're very easy to clean, just a little warm water, you wipe it down. And the best part is that Caraway products are made without any toxic materials like BFASs, BTFEs, and a bunch of other things like I can't even pronounce. So you don't have to worry about that. Right now, visit carawayhome.com/TSFS to take advantage of this limited time offer for 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive to my Sarah Fraser Show listeners. So visit carawayhome.com/TSFS or use code TSFS at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. It's time for you to see what all the fuss is about, read about their 5-star reviews, and why so many TSFS fans buy Caraway Home. Order now.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Get in, loser! Mean Girls is now streaming on Paramount Plus. Join Katie Heron as she meets the plastics in Tina Fey's new twist on the modern classic. Get ready for more of the rumors, backstabbing, and jokes you loved from the original movie with some fetch surprises. Rated PG-13. Wear pink and head to ParamountPlus.com to try it free.
David, I thought of you this weekend because I saw the headline of Madonna, which I believe, how many times have you seen Madonna live?
You know what? Well, I don't know about that, but on this tour, 3 times, I was supposed to go my 4th time Monday, and I sold the ticket. I'm like,
it's a good thing.
I'm just not feeling it.
It's a good thing you weren't in a wheelchair. I mean, my God, she apparently, she yelled at the guy to stand up, and he was in a wheelchair. What is wrong with her?
And then she said,
I do
sorry.
stuff like that. I do stuff like that.
She said sorry.
You think he got any sort of autographed, item? It wasn't a guy. I just honestly, to be honest with you, I just read the headline and I cracked up thinking about you because you are such a Madonna stan. And I'm indifferent on Madonna. She definitely is such a pop culture icon and she deserves all her flowers, but she doesn't do it for me. So I don't know.
Well, I watched the video. Basically, no, I think if it was anyone other than Madonna, like if it was Kylie or it was anyone else, like a Taylor, God, I think they would have been brought backstage afterwards. Madonna doesn't. She could insult, the whole world. No one's going backstage or getting near her. She just doesn't do that.
And I think I'm not a Madonna fan because, as you know, I don't wait for these people. I don't care. Okay. If you have a concert that starts, this is why I loved going to see the Eagles, who are literally 75 years old on their farewell tour. They, Steely Dan, the show started at 7:30. Steely Dan came on at 7:35. Okay. Steely Dan plays till 8:45. They take 10-minute intermission and the Eagles come on right at 9. And the Eagles play 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Guess what? If you know someone's starting late, then are they really starting late if the whole world knows you're starting late?
Then tell people the party starts at 11. But for her to ask and advertise that doors open at 6 and a show starts at 7:30 and she ain't getting her ass on stage, she can keep it. I don't give a shit if she's the Pope. Pass.
You know who needs to do a tour?
Who?
because we've already seen Sandoval in the most extras. I'm feeling, because she has the new song, I'm feeling Sheena Shea is going to start doing a little mini appearances somewhere. And you're going with me in LA. You're going to come and you're going to have to wait, just like with Sandoval. And we're going to see Good as Gold. And we're going to, I mean, Sheena's cashing in on everything else, as we found out last night. And we'll get into this soon. But Sheena had a rough one last night, huh?
Very rough. I was going to say, where do you think she stands with this group? Boy, I think they've drawn lines in the sand for the most part. It's Sandoval or it's us.
I mean, I really, truly, I very rarely see both sides. I see both sides. Like, I see Ariana's point of, like, I have to do what I need to do to feel comfortable and protect myself, which is what she told Lala. And I understand Sheena and Lala, because Lala appears to be speaking up, because Sheena's apparently lost her voice, if she's ever had one, when she says, like, you know, I am not okay. Like, I'm grieving the loss of my friend. And if you're my friend, you should be. I don't know why everyone is hating on Sheena for saying, like, I need you, Ariana, to be there for me because I've lost my friend. Everyone apparently doesn't agree with me. People are hating on Sheena. Selfish, crying over Dancing with the Stars. Why are you making this about you? Ariana's been such a great friend to you. I don't know why it can't be both, but people, apparently I'm in the minority. And I understand what Lala's saying in that scene in the street where she's like, you should say to your friend, like, I'm there for you. And I understand Ariana being like, I can't be, because she's wants to be friends with the devil.
I get that. I get it. I think Ariana and Katie go a little too hard about Sheena, but I understand that, yeah, they're not going to give any empathy or grace to Sandoval. They have zero. But they all right now cannot seem to come to an agreement. I loved the fight, the blow by blow between Katie and Lala at the end of the episode. It was so juicy. This whole episode was good, I thought. In general, I mean, really, and truly, it was the official breakup of Sandoval and Rachel Leviss. And LVP tells Tom it's time to move on.
When she was like, I have spoken to her at great length, Tom went like ghost white. What? What are you talking about? And then when he's like, well, this and that, and we did this, and then Lisa's listening very intensely, and he's like, and she blocked me, and Lisa's like, wait a second, go back. She blocked you? She's like, well, then it's over, darling. And Tom is like, oh, shit, man, I lost my girl. I was in love with that girl.
I lost my girl. That was good. That scene was good. That actually surprised me. And very interesting. I did not anticipate Rachel Leviss being such a strategist in this whole game of chess, but she certainly appears to have the upper hand. And you have to wonder, the abrupt cutoff of Sandoval. Was she talking to attorneys long ago and plotting and planning the revenge porn lawsuit and I don't know if I want to say it was a strategy to stay longer in the rehab facility, but very, very interesting by Rachel Leviss.
Very interesting. And like, you know, if this is a money play, and right, like, look, if you're going to sue and you have the advice of Garagos and Freeman, that's it. You can't speak to them at all, you know? Like, the last time I sued someone.
Juicy.
They emailed me after I sued them, and I don't do a cease and desist because I mean that's worth nothing. And they emailed me and they said, you know, I'm quite disappointed that it's come to this, and I'm quite shocked at the lawsuit. And I'm like, you know, and they said, you know, like, I think if we just could talk, we could like work this out without lawyers. Now, that would be way better for me too, because ka-ching, the time is running here, people. So there's nothing I would have liked more than to say, I would love to just talk and work this out because, yeah, I mean, I'm on the clock too, baby. And like, I'm paying for every phone call. But you delete the email. You forward it to your lawyer and you delete it. You're like, I can't even respond to this and say, hi, like this is the lawsuit. So you don't even respond. You don't get caught in a weak moment at 3 a.m. of like fuck, I spent $10,000 so far. I want this over with. You cannot communicate at all whatsoever. If you see the person out and they're standing next to you,
They're
zip
dead
your
to
lip
you.
and walk away. Yes.
Well,
So
she played that very well. She seems to be playing that very well. I mean, do you, as we get deeper into the season 11, episode 7 last night, do we think that he is really in love with her, that he is now grieving the loss of who he thought he was potentially his new girlfriend? I mean, he says it's been over a decade since he's been out on the dating scene. He's never been single.
I mean, yes and no. You know, like, I do think, as crazy as this sounds, I think Sandoval, like, look at him. He's like, oh, and he's in his feelings, and nail polish and goth rock and cover songs. Like, I do think that he is a relationship guy, as crazy as that sounds. You know what I mean? Like, he was with Ariana for a long time and he was miserable and, didn't have enough sense to break up with her. His dick was too small. I mean, I guess he's taking lessons from Schwartzy over there about being a man. But, so I think he's like a relationship type. I actually really do. So I think that he was in love with her and had feelings for her, but I mean, he's also loves himself the most. And I mean, he loves the Scandoval. I don't care what nobody says. He's loving this.
Oh, he loves
the
Scandoval.
And by the way, if you really step back from this, I mean, you guys can hate him. He's the fucking star of the show. I mean, this whole show is like, well, I mean, he's there at least this season. I mean, he's there in this, and everything is about him entering and leaving. And I mean, every other word is about Tom. So at least this season, like, you know how they say Kyle should, when Kyle just did her thing on, don't you talk to me. You had a horse and a dating coach. I bought my daughter a car and she was 2 and now she has a car and leaving for college and blah, blah. People are like, people should owe their check to Kyle for this season.
They should.
Sure.
They should.
And 2 seasons ago, they should give it to Erica. And so I think this season you should give your check to Tom. It really is all about him to me this season. And it's not positive or negative. That's just what I see.
What did you make of Ariana confessing in the episode that she was down to her last $2,000 before Scandoval? And do you feel like bitch should recognize, thank you, Tom? Now, to be honest, she can't do that because the genius, I think, of this show and season 11 is you really have this, I'm not going to equate it to a Shakespearean storyline, but you do have this, you have good versus evil a little bit. You have, heartbreak and deception and, friends caught in the middle. I mean, so she can't be like, hey, you know what? Actually, I love the fact that you've now made me rich and got me, saved me from debt. So she's got to take the line of like, he's a scumbag, he's awful, he's heartless. This person is the most narcissistic nut you've ever met. But I thought that was, I didn't think she was that desperate. Did you? I mean, I thought that was a good scene. I give her a lot of props because I was like, damn, I believe her that I think finances were real tough. I call him the no-Zempic, been on Ozempic doctor. I'm talking about Dr. Applin and his wife who founded My Optimal Body. I am so happy about this. These are the first mindful eating-based doctors I have ever partnered with. They see patients nationwide, and they are seeing more patients who have been on Ozempic, and Ozempic has failed for them. What makes My Optimal Body so unique, and why am I endorsing them? It's because Dr. Applin actually looks at food additives, your addiction to food, your mental health. They do a whole look at you, including your gut health. Many of Dr. Applin's patients are working out, restricting their diets, and still gaining weight. Why is that? Because something's going on in your body and with your mind. Visit myoptimalbody.com to request an appointment. Be sure to tell them the Sarah Fraser Show sent you so you can qualify for a free personalized assessment, plus a bonus free 30-day supply of their gut repair product when you sign up for a customized plan. Again, that's myoptimalbody.com to request an appointment. How about getting up to 5 hours of your life back when you sign up for Hungry Root meal prep and delivery service? I'm obsessed. I've tried a lot of meal prep boxes. This is one of my favorites. In fact, I actually emailed the client to see if I can get like a year's supply. They're like, Sarah, use your own damn code. Anyway, right now, I want you to go to hungryroot.com/TSFS because you are getting 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. The average Hungry Root customer saves 5 hours a week. That was us. On top of that, you can pick from vegetarian, keto, meat, anything that you like. Right now, Hungry Root is offering TSFS listeners 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. As I mentioned, just go to hungryroot.com/TSFS to get 40% off your first delivery and get those free veggies. That's hungryroot.com/TSFS. Also, don't forget to use my link so Hungry Root knows who sent you. Yeah.
Little Wing is now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm in a period of emotional upheaval.
Is that all the I don't care crap?
A little adventure.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna steal a bird from the Russian pigeon mafia.
Let's do it.
Goes a long way. Starring Brooklyn Prince with Kelly Riley and Brian Cox.
Life can hurt, but life is sweet.
Little Wing, rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13. Now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Rumor is none of them were making anything on this show. That it was all that they weren't making a lot. I have mutual friends in common with Sheena, and she's always telling these mutual friends of mine how broke she is. Granted, I mean, we just learned the salaries of these Vanderpump Rules kids. They're up in like the 700s, like a Sheena, and she just bought the house for 2.5. So I'm starting to think every time my friends tell me that Sheena is saying how poor she is, she might just be one of those who like cries poor. I believe her. I mean, what do I think? I think honestly, if you want my overall arching think of where my mind goes,
that was good last night.
Don't ever, people, unless you're Lisa Vanderpump and have deep pockets, don't ever open a fucking restaurant. Don't open a bar. Don't open a sandwich shop. Don't open a coffee shop. Don't open anything. It is a tough fucking business. As someone now who has a new apartment in New York that I am furnishing, this is the end. I will never do this again. I mean, $1 becomes 100 because like it is like you just bleed money. So
furniture is a losing
game.
game.
You had the money and you made something. You weren't making a lot. And then you want to open this. So it's like, I believe, she cleared out her entire, you say one thing and then they're like, okay, well, now we have to tear out the stove because it's not up for code. So, that's an extra 90,000 and there's this and that. And so, I believe when you sign the permit and lease, and I mean, they're paying for that space that you and I have walked by, which cannot be cheap no matter how small it is, because it is on the strip in West Hollywood, just off the strip. So, I think that she probably was making money and just saw the bank account getting drained because of something about her. So don't ever open nothing, especially in LA or New York, people. But I believe it. So the rumor is Lisa Vanderpump also said to her, you better figure your shit. I don't know if I believe this one, but before Scandoval, you better figure your shit out. Cause like, you better come up with a storyline, girl, cause you're on the chopping block. Oh, I mean, do I believe that? I mean, she was still with Tom. So, like, why would she be on the chopping block? What would she be, a +1? I don't know. She wasn't, like, not part of the show. But, I mean, look, all the things worked out, which is why I don't understand it. Like, I understand the horror and the PTSD and the feelings of finding on someone's phone, there's your boyfriend, and there's a video of your good friend playing with herself and they're having it. I understand that is a tough pill to swallow, but I just think you have another boyfriend now and you have lots of money and you have Broadway and all of this. And it all worked out.
Hey, I always say the universe has got your back. When you believe that God is working for you, he does all the time. Look, I mean, no one's ever gone from $2,000 to over $2 million like that. I mean, that is impressive. I liked it though, because I thought that scene explained more of the resentment towards Tom, which also was about the house. she basically said, when we started making any little amount of money, we purchased this house. And then for the rest of the time, I was trying to desperately play catch up. So it sounds like they kind of got in over their heads with purchasing their house. Now I understand why she's so hell-bent on I ain't leaving. I finally can pay my part of the mortgage. I blood, sweat, tears. I dreaded that, because nothing's worse, right? I mean, you own 3 homes. I'm trying to purchase one, okay? And I was talking to my financial advisor yesterday, and she's like, wait a year, okay? You do not need...
Really?
She's like, you're trying to have a child. You don't want this you and I live in Los Angeles. I mean, a $1.1 million house here is a dump. I mean, a dump. You could throw a cap through it, and you got to move into that.
Or
and then you move
or it's right near an airport.
Or it's right near an airport.
James's was around 1.1, but he also put money into it too. Yeah, so there you go.
I mean, dump. So she's like, you don't want this extra pressure. I mean, your mortgage, when your earthquake insurance, your taxes, you're talking over $7,000 a month for a 1.1. Okay.
Honey.
She's like, you don't want that extra stress. Have the baby. You're fine where you are. Someday you're going to buy a house. It's only the perception. So take this off the table. I understood where Ariana was coming from in that scene, because I'm like, oh yeah, they jumped in when they got their first couple of Vanderpump checks. And she probably had to borrow money from Tom, or Tom kind of held it over her. And now she's like, look, I control things. I also have purse strings now. I don't blame her. I actually liked her better. I like her better the more I see this season. And I don't
dislike her. I don't
really?
Dislike her.
Okay. I was not a fan really, because I was like, stop whining. But now I understand the depth more. I'm more of a fan.
I understand. Ooh,
I'm more of a fan, and I'm becoming less of a fan of Rachel Leviss. I'm becoming less of a. You and I spent a lot of time, and I don't regret that. When this all happened, we said there are men and women across this country with 3 children who woke up this morning and found out that their partner has been having an affair with his fucking secretary, and this woman has been a stay-at-home mother, and she has nothing. And what is she going to do? That is a hard situation. We were not married. There ain't a ring on it. There ain't any vows. He slept with my best friend, and now I'm making $2 million. It was hard for me to see the empathy in that versus what real people are going through. But now I get it more. And I actually think Rachel Leviss is much more calculated. And I don't know. I'm beginning to have an issue with this ongoing. I just feel like, and I think it's for me, it's because I know Bethany I'm sure, has a hand in it. I interrupt this fabulous podcast with David Yontef to tell you about OneSkin. Right now, you can get 15% off your order with the amazing OneSkin lotions and creams by using code TSFS. Go to oneskin.co, put in TSFS, boom, 15% off your order. I love OneSkin. Discovered them when they started working with me almost a year ago, and they have a scientifically proven peptide OS1 formula. That peptide reduces the accumulation of damaged aging cells, the cells that make your skin less resilient and more prone to lines and wrinkles. They're called those zombie cells. And most skincare products that you purchase only treat topical. They just give you enough sort of moisturizer, plump up your skin, but they don't go cellular and they don't go deep. They even have formulas on OneSkin that include SPF and UV blocking rays, so it's all in one, and your skincare routine becomes easier and actually works. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company, and by focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using the code TSFS at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with the code TSFS. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Tell them the Sarah Fraser Show sent you. New year, healthier skin. That's OneSkin. Help your skin stay younger and healthier for longer with OneSkin. Also got to thank theseedscout.com. Feeling like Lala Kent? Are you looking for a sperm donor? TheSeedScout.com works with couples nationwide, whether you're a single woman, gay couple, or if you are having male infertility issues. They are so well respected. Why is that? Because they really track their sperm donors. They do not allow their sperm donors to donate to multiple banks, or they don't resell any sperm if it's not used. You pay a higher price, but you know exactly who your sperm sperm donor is. You get a thorough mental, physical check. That is exactly what you want. And you can have real contact with the sperm donor, which is very important as your child gets older. They may want to know their health history. But of course, everything is done legally. That sperm donor is not coming back into your lives. But it's so important to know the history and be open with your child. The Seed Scout is a small company that allows you to speak to them directly. Tell them the Sarah Fraser Show sent you. Get $100 off any service that you use with them. Go to theseedscout.com today.
It all comes back to Bethany for you.
It all
comes back. So
Why
I was
do I
just going to
dislike the
ask,
bee?
why is Rachel, why are you falling out of love with Rachel Leviss? But apparently I have my answer. Bethany is behind it, and you cannot get over that. Or we think she's behind it.
I don't believe it's
So
sincere.
you think, Rachel, it's because of the lawsuit. You think this is all calculated, that she has been planning this from day one, Miss Leviss?
I think pretty quickly, yeah. I think she got, and maybe I'm the dummy. Maybe she's very smart. What else did you, I related to Lala. Lala talks about getting her sperm donor in this episode. She tells LVP, and of course, LVP's face is like, oh, you're absolutely crazy, darling. She goes, LVP, I want 4 babies. I can't wait to meet Lala in real life. I feel like we'll connect because I'm probably going to end up, I'm going to do another round of IVF. My first one failed. And whatever it takes, hopefully that works. If not, I'm getting an egg donor. I want to foster to adopt here in Los Angeles. I feel like actually I ought to reach out. I had a DM Lala. I'm with her. I want 4 children. I'm obsessed with being a mother. I've found the meaning of life. It is the most difficult, rewarding, unbelievably amazing thing ever. And you need to have a child. Oh my God, David as a dad, Daddy David, you would be the most protective. Oh my God.
There is so much to unpack in this diatribe that you have just spewed forth. First of all, Lala in the real world is amazing. Second of all, you asked me what I think about this scene. I watched this scene and I think this should be required viewing for Portia Williams, Shanna Bador, I could say some others, but apparently I'm friends with them now. We can keep going. I'm watching this and I'm just thinking to myself, this is what a strong woman looks like. I don't care if people don't agree with me. That's what I think. When she says to Lisa, I have made up my mind. I am having a child. I don't want a fucking baby daddy. Yeah. Give me a break. I'm like, that is a strong woman to me. My experiences with Lala have been nothing but great. That to me is better than these women who are trying to fill up their fucking love tanks. And they are just, and they're with these guys that are bringing them down because they're so lonely and they don't want to be alone. Now Portia's getting another divorce. Shannon is in the fetal position over John Jansen. We're not even talking like you're losing over. She ended up well, but let's not give too much credit to the Tins who just went from guy to guy. Tinsley has ended up.
Leave the Tins alone.
The Tins has ended up. She's found a good one, a widower. Always go for a widower, girls and guys. Always go for a widower. Bob Saget's widow. Well, a widower is like you could have stayed. It's like that's a. Bob Saget's widow is getting a lot of flack for dating Breckin Meyer so quickly. She says you will never understand the full range of emotions unless you are a widow.
Correct.
Correct.
A lot of people, when they lose a spouse, jump right back in. It's so overwhelmingly devastating that you are so lost. You are looking for someone, especially if they can relate. My mom went through that. She got remarried after my dad passed away, I think within 15 months. My stepfather.
And by the way,
very nice.
Wow.
Well, then she got divorced.
And by the way,
it's okay.
The widow says that Breckin fully embraces talking about Bob and just embraces it. So and your mother's still married to your stepfather. So
no, they got divorced.
Divorced.
It's
Sorry.
fine. No. He's very nice, but they just couldn't live together. They jumped in too quick. They both were widows, and they still are friends to this day. They divorced and then they hang out like every month, but it works better for them. They didn't live well together. That was the.
It's better that way. There's lots of divorce in my family. I'm a lone wolf, so what do I know? Yeah, no, I that's what I thought about that. I think that Shannon Bedore, and it's not just Shannon and Portia. I had a long list in my head when I watched it. I mean, Tamara, I mean, Eddie, I mean, what the hell does what the hell does Eddie do for a living? You know, I mean, like,
excuse me, he's a
I mean,
podcaster now.
he's a podcaster now. I mean,
And
look,
they
he's
own
hung
a
in there.
CBD company.
Oh yeah, that's a big money maker over there. So I have a problem with some of these ladies that let themselves be treated a certain way by these men. So more power to you. You want a baby, you get the fucking baby, and you get the sperm donor, and just do it. Bravo to Lala. Great scene.
Did you enjoy, though? There was a lot of ladies and
See,
guys.
see how woke I am and liberal, and I accept all types of families. I'm very liberal
and
socially.
pro women. What a turn of events.
Right. Yeah, they say this, that. I'm very liberal socially.
They say you call women cunts.
Dolores is another one. I mean, taking the scraps from Paulie over there. Come on. Have self-esteem, guys. Oh, you love Paulie. Is that the face you're making?
A dark Irish guy. You know, I'm half Irish. I mean, I have a weakness. And an Irish mother. I love Paulie. David, to me, was trash. I don't even know. I mean, what redeeming quality did that asshole have? I don't give a shit if he's the greatest surgeon in all of New Jersey. What a douchebag.
Believe it or not, I find David more attractive than Paulie. I wouldn't touch Paulie with your dick. Okay? You know what I'm saying?
All right, I got another question for you, though. It was a big...
Is your dick, Sarah, as big as Katie? Because we learned through Allie's tea leaf reading that Katie has a big dick. Shocker.
Oh, let me whip mine out.
Okay.
What was that old, FDR saying? What was it? Speak slowly, carry a soft. Speak softly, carry a large stick. That's it. I'm very nice. Don't push me, because I can be a real CU. Yeah, I know. I've learned that from you. You've given me good. You're the most lovely human being, but I wouldn't fuck with you. I know you're a CU if you have to be. And
I'm lovely until you try to cross me, and then. I don't even see black and white anymore. I don't see the grays. I don't see that the sky is blue. I just see red, and you will be going down. We did learn that Allie, our little Allie, was on the road to be Taylor Swift. And one day she looked up and she said, this woman is destined for the Eras Tour, and I can never compete with Taylor. There's only one. So I'm going to become an astrologer. You can get your tea leaves read by Allie, astrologer. Hey, you know what I got to say, though?
So California. Because I also have my birth chart, because they did a whole scene where they brought out each other's birth charts and talked about their rising signs.
Oh, you did yours.
I'm a Scorpio rising. What'd you make of that? I mean, poor Allie, right? Isn't Allie Cat getting to be the negotiator? She's like the middleman for all these people. And I will say, I love Lala, but again, I do side with, this is what I like about this show. I side with Tom Sandoval. You never get any new information of how bad Randall Emmett really is. Okay? You get these little, we get little crumbs of, it breaks my heart that Ocean has to go there on Christmas Day. Why? Is he still a cokehead? Aren't they divorced, or is the divorce not final? Why are we not
Never been married, and guess what?
Oh, come on.
Guess what? Sarah, you stepped in this one. The listeners hate you for this.
Oh, tell me.
They want you and we're not editing, guys, because I don't have time. They want you strung up by your balls for saying last week that Randall and Lala were married. Now, I know that they weren't married, but I did correct you at the time, I believe. But they are. Tell Sarah to stop. She's fired. Don't ever let her talk about Vanderpump again. How could she not? I'm just telling you, I wasn't going to bring it up.
Okay, well then my point is even then you guys should be licking my balls, because my point's even more relevant. Then why isn't she giving us any further new information about they don't even have a marriage custody agreement, and we're not getting anything new? Give me a break. I am pulling a Kyle with Sutton. Okay? You've got a dating coach and a horse. That's all you've got to come up with. And I agree with Kyle. Kyle has sacrificed sisters over this show. I mean, can you imagine that famous scene where she calls Kim an alcoholic on camera? That is, I think about, like, my brother and I are best friends. Like, my brother saying that to me. I mean, that on fucking camera, okay? That's another level. We know nothing new about Randall Emmett. Nothing.
Well, if you listen to my chat with Nicole Eggert from Baywatch, his ex-best friend, you would know a lot more. But I understand what you're saying. By the way, I am so much more interested in 2024, in today's day and age, about the inner workings of Kim and Kathy and Kyle than I am about this fucking Gorga, Melissa, Taricia. I'm over it. I only talk about RHO&J on the Patreon. You know where to find me. But big scene. You're an alcoholic. You stole the house. She says you stole the house. Yeah, no, this is true. Kyle has given a lot. By the way,
a lot.
We don't need to segue. I just did a quick hit the other day. I do urge Kyle to stop lying to the Behind the Velvet Rope and the Sarah Fraser audience. When she says, I talked about this before on my own. When she says, you know, we'll see about season 14. It's always a last minute decision. I don't even want to continue this conversation. Just say, like Teresa says, I will be here until the wheels fall off. Kyle Richards is not leaving the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break.
We have a lot to talk about on our next show.
Stop lying. We do.
Wait, there was but I loved the scene with Katie and Lala, like going back and forth about Ariana. Like, what did you make of that? Do you think there's real tension there, or are they all get on?
I think, listen, I might be wrong when I predicted that Katie's gonna be there with her like shirt hanging out, like pancake batter all over her new Gap t-shirt because she's making the pancakes. It's something about her to serve for the morning, and she has a Band-Aid on because she chopped her finger just a little bit when she was doing the tuna salad. And Ariana is on set in France of a photo shoot, and this is the end of this friendship. I might have been wrong. Shocker. I also said Melissa Gorga was 100% being fired. Although people tell me I was right about her and Margaret. I'm just a season off. Maybe about Margaret. We'll see. I think I was wrong. I think at the end of the day, Katie's hate for Schwartz. I mean, look, they're bonded. They both had a breakup with each of the Toms. I think I'm wrong. I think Katie at the end of the day is the real ride hard for Ariana girl.
Isn't the irony that Ariana and Katie trash Schwartz up and down because they just say he licks Tom Sandoval's ass, and yet Katie is that same person for Ariana? Like, it's just they're mirrors of one another. The part I did love, what did you make of Joe, who of course we met when we went to Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras here in Los Angeles? Joe seemed less quirky in real life, but on the show, they do make her out to be a weirdo. You think she's a weirdo?
It's so funny you asked that, because what I've learned from this episode is I actually have something positive to say. You know who I've really learned to like?
Who?
I love this Allie. We were just talking about her. Allie Luber. Love her.
Really?
She's doing the astrology. She's very cute. Maybe I'm just superficial. When someone's attractive, I tend to like them. But I like Allie. Yeah, I like her. She's non-offensive. She's got stuff to say. I mean, she deals with James. She's putting up with Hippie. So she's listening to the airplanes fly over. I like Allie. Now, there is some bad news. You know how I've done a few impressions here and how I'm not loving, I don't feel the love from that Morgan Wade. She's like, they call Teddy the Gnat. I find Morgan Wade to be the Gnat. I find her very annoying from what I've seen from Morgan Wade. Yeah, I fucking hate Joe. She annoyed the fuck out of me in this episode. She annoyed the fuck out of me. So I want to start positive and say that Allie really was like, wow, I like this girl. This Joe is possibly more annoying than Morgan Wade. I'm going to state it. That's how I feel.
Morgan Wade doesn't speak. How is Morgan Wade annoying? You hardly hear anything
because she says,
Cal.
I don't know.
I'm in the Chateau Marmont with a big star who wants to do pills off my body.
Mind you.
Okay, so Joe, you find super annoying. Really? Joe,
Oh,
they portray her
beyond.
to be such a quirky weirdo. And, she's a hairdresser, and she comes in. Actually, the thing I loved about Joe, she seems the realest to me. She comes in, the hair is a rat's nest, sweetie, with a baseball hat on, no makeup. And, Schwartzy is quirky. I thought, I liked Joe. I hope they bring more of Joe in the mix.
We seem to disagree on this matter. She also is just like, you know what it is? It's like, I can't help but break the fourth wall. I mean, she is just like, when she's there with Schwartzy, she's loving her life. But then when Sandoval walks in and sits down next to her, she is just beside herself with excitement. Like, I am I just hear the dialogue inside her head. I am now filming a scene with Tom Sandoval. Scandoval. This is like fucking huge. Like I was in the scene with Schwartzy and Allie, and like, who the fuck cares about them? And like, James is like, whatever. But I am now sitting next to Sandoval in a scene. Holy shit, I am here. I have arrived in WeHo. I just hear the inner dialogue. And then if you really pay attention to the scene, she's repeating things. She is trying to get her voice in there. They're not editing it out. We've all been in scenes in reality TV and we're like, where am I? I was edited out. They're leaving her little scenes in, but she is repeating things like, oh yeah, the tall people. Oh yeah, this. And oh yeah, ooh, ooh. Like, she is trying to get her one-liners in any way she can to get as much camera time as she can. I can't help it. Like, I can't watch her and not break the fourth wall and just be like, for 10 years, the show has been on. Whether you were there for 10 years or not, we know you've been there for a while. Now there's Scandoval. You're on the damn show. You're not going to be Lala. You're not going to be Katie. You're not going to be Sheena. It's not going to happen, but you see her trying. And so that's where I am with that. Sorry.
Joe was great. I have to disagree. I love the quirkiness. I like the realness of Joe. They need to throw her more in the mix because the only thing that is daunting about this show is just we're over and over again that Tom is, a loser and this and that, and no one can move forward. And Sheena is now caught in the middle. I loved the guys' dinner and that, Sandoval and James seem to have this simpatico now and it's all good. And James is like, don't be awkward, just say it. And he's like, I wish Rachel would reach out to me. And, I like it. And then I go back to.
And James is just sitting there like, not my fucking problem. Like, I almost feel James had a moment of like, this poor guy. Like, we all fucking hate him. The one girl that was like blowing him is now locked away and can't, communicate. And just this guy has nothing. I felt like James was like mad. He also is loving it and laughing. It doesn't feel bad, for him at all. But you know what I'm saying?
I couldn't agree with you more. I thought the same thing. So it is very good. I loved it last night. I just loved the finance scene of kind of, that to me is what I want to hear more of. The realness, like, ooh, you were broke. You were, Ariana was messaging your agent and your manager, please, we need to get something going. Oh, don't you love that?
Like that?
I love that about life. Just when you think you're down and out, if you believe things are going to turn around, man, they turn around like you wouldn't believe. And look at that.
Down to $2,000. That's scary. But I believe it. I do believe it. I mean, again.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Does Monday at the office feel like a storm? Not with Microsoft Copilot. That feeling when Copilot gets everyone up to speed instantly? It's sunny again. When Copilot simplifies complex data so your teams can act, that sun's shining on a beach. And when Copilot uncovers hidden insights, you're on that beach with your people, and you find buried treasure. That's Microsoft Copilot. Learn more at Microsoft.com/AI for all.
mean, granted, you always seem to say, yeah, no, I mean, I just don't open anything, whatever. But I feel
I'm
for
with you.
her.
I'm with you. The restaurant business is I would think the worst. But I don't know anything about it. I'm sure many people listening to us are restaurateurs. And our dear friend Sam, I'm waiting for you to bring back Sam. Sam works in the industry. So people that are in
Sam would be here every fucking hour if we let him. And he
want him back.
has a movie. He can promote his movie.
He's in a film? Why aren't we going? I want to see this.
He made a film. It's he's gonna love this. It's everyone thinks I'm so rude all the time, and there's so much information. It comes in and goes out. But he made a movie musical, I believe, version. I think it's a musical of Scream, but not Scream. Like it's like a parody of Scream, and it's filmed in the Hamptons. So a lot of people I know are in it. Lisa Gallo is in it, of the Gallo sisters.
So Sam
but I should know more. So I'm gonna
is on his way to becoming a major.
Well, that's what he says to me all the time. He's like, I mean, you're not having me on the podcast every week, but like when I'm at Sundance and this and that, like I will shit on you and forget about you. And I'm like, that's understandable. Like you should.
Okay, what is Sam's number? Okay, I want him on here. You're telling me he's the next Steven Spielberg, and you act like you can't.
He might be. And when I say everyone, like Jill Zarin filmed a scene for this, it's the Hamptons. It's that Jill. Yes, Jill was in a scene. Yeah, no,
Sam,
this is the Hamptons crew, girl. I mean, like Sam knows them all. That one, and he knows Elise, and Barb Kay and I are always in her. There.
You and I could have been in Scream together. What is wrong with you? Scream the musical.
We could have been in
Sam's
it if we were.
number. My God, what are you doing?
Okay, let me work on this for you. Well,
all right. To wrap this up,
it's a little busy.
Okay, finally we see teasers coming down the line for
they're good.
Juicy teasers. I think we finally see Jax. Jax Taylor is going to be in the mix for this show.
I also love how they talked about Jax. I mean, like also staged. Let's set up the Valley. Let's like just put this scene about like, but Jax is cheating, sticking his dick into everyone all around town. And they're all just like, I mean, they're not just bringing up Jax to bring Jax up. Like we're shooting this scene to help the same executive producer, Alex Baskin, on the Valley, which is okay. You got to do what you got to do. Right.
Oh, 100% genius cross promotion. But yes, right now we're seeing Jax.
I thought the most interesting thing is I love when Sandoval's like, I care about you. And she's like, because we're filming or like for life? Like Sheena's like, these, I don't know why. I'm so bored of Housewives, except for Reality, Voluntees, and Monica Garcia. And that was last season. So get with the program, David. Whitney is fighting with Lisa. Oh, please. I'm over it. Vanderpump doesn't bore me for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I agree.
Why am I more excited about this? I mean, Potomac, we have some bad news. The ratings, we just saw it. It was in the 3s this past week.
No. Wasn't that for Watch What Happens Live? I didn't think that was for Real House. I thought you sent me that and it was for Watch What Happens Live, not for...
Oh.
Hold on.
Well, then that's not that because that's what... Oh, excuse me. It is for Watch What Happens Live. Okay, but the Potomac's like in the 5s, so I guess that's par for the course these days. Yes, the 300s was Watch What Happens.
Ashley Darby was on my show. We are going to get a shakeup in the P. I mean, the P
we need one.
The P is a mess.
We need a shakeup.
RHOA.
So I don't know. Why does this not bother me? I really think it goes back to what Mr. Taylor said in the beginning. I think it's because it's real friends. Whether they're enemies now or not, they have real history. And the other thing is we've been with most of this cast for many, many, many years, a decade. I know, I just saw it. Oh, what's that?
Well, the last ratings that were posted for RHOP were 643,000 viewers. And then, of course, you pick up... I mean, that's live, right? That's pretty good.
That's not... I mean, it's not bad. Beverly Hills is over 1 million. I assume Jersey will come back to be over 1 million. I mean, God help me. God help me. They want me to talk about Jersey on the Patreon. God help me. I mean...
You're not looking forward to it?
The new season, the trailer, I mean, we're going to break it down, but it doesn't look great. Doesn't look great to me. Some people might feel it looks great. I try to be positive, but my point is this Vanderpump stuff, it's got me intrigued, and a lot of people are bored of it. I still don't know where the show is going to go. Sheena's really going through it. She's really going through it. Have some sympathy for. If you guys see Sheena on the streets, give her a hug. I love Anne. He comes home. She's there. He has someone to film with. She's very embarrassed that she's going to a Barbie screening. She's dressed like Barbie. I also love that the guy is so happy with Scraps. He tells Lisa, I got to the airport and they saw me, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw that they kind of like didn't turn away for 3 seconds. So I chose a seat, not at their table, not at the table behind them, but at the table 3 tables away. And I thought I was going to have to be waiting at another gate. And the fact that I was just 3 tables away, I feel like, wow, it went well, Lisa. It went well. They let me sit 3 tables away. This guy is happy with fucking Scraps. Okay. There you go. Those are my deep thoughts for today. You got anything else?
I think we covered it all. I'm excited for, you and I do multiple shows a week, and we got a lot of tea this week. A lot of gossip to get, a lot of Mauricio gossip, so I can't wait for RHOBH, so we get a lot.
Let's record our next episode soon. I love you much, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the Vanderpump recap, and we're going to keep recapping so you don't have to watch if you don't want to. See you soon, Sarah.
Bye.